For my Educator interview, I chose to interview my brother-in-law's mother, who is an elementary teacher back home. Beth Sullivan is a 4th grade teacher at Bauer Elementary School in Warrenville, Illinois, CUSD District 200. For this project, I asked Beth a few questions to learn a little bit more about educational issues in today's society. My interview was composed of questions including current issues that schools and teachers face, why these issues are important, and how they are affecting her students' lives as well as her own life. Beth believes that the most critical issue teachers are dealing with is having enough time in the day to differentiate learning to meet the needs of all students. Differentiation is the key to student success, but along with all of the other curriculum demands, there are not enough hours in the day for general education teachers to be doing this alone. At Bauer Elementary School, RTI is changing to MTSS. MTSS, Multi-Tiered Systems of Support, is a way of looking at school improvement. It involves Tier 1, 2, 3, and 4. Tier 1 is core curriculum, Tier 2 and 3 involve targeted and intensive interventions, and Tier 4 involves special education services. MTSS is a way of looking at how all 4 of these services and levels of support work together. In order for the data to be measurable, interventions need to be done by the classroom teacher, and that is where time becomes an issue. It is critical to a child's success in school to be serviced for their specific needs, whether it is a learning deficit or the child is gifted and needs accelerated learning. However, when teachers and schools can work together to differentiate for student-specific learning needs, student scores and success will increase. Beth believes that teachers need the help of specialists to meet the growing needs of their students. Based on the articles I found about differentiation to meet students' diverse needs, I have found that current literature supports the idea of differentiated instruction. However, most of the articles I came across also discuss how this type of instruction can be challenging for one teacher. For example, in the article titled Implementing Differentiated Instruction in the Classroom, the diversity in classrooms makes instruction tremendously hard for educators. This article states that most teachers recognize that more individualization would be helpful, but the prospect is simply too unrealistic and overwhelming to undertake on a daily basis. I can see where this idea stems from, because in a way, individualization is as if you are teaching around 20 students individually instead of as a whole group. Another point that I came across in an article was about how generalized teachers lack the specific knowledge to be able to accommodate for all of their students. In differentiated instruction, perceptions, practices, and challenges of primary school teachers, I read that similar to the above findings, lack of knowledge and experience was found to be the main factor affecting teachers in implementing DI. This proved to me that what Beth said about general teachers being unable to support all of their students' needs is the main problem in differentiating instruction. Lastly, in another article, I read about how specialists are trained as interventionists to help meet students' needs in the classroom. The article stated, educational specialists and special educators are trained as interventionists in the RTI process. Content area educators, especially those in middle and secondary classrooms, do not have such clearly defined roles, nor do they have validated protocols for skill development in their content areas. This piece of information validated Beth's beliefs on this issue. Just like she said, teachers cannot provide for all of their students on their own. There are specific people trained to do so, and we need to utilize them for our students to succeed to their highest potential. Overall, today's literature has a lot to say about differentiating instruction for all students, and definitely makes it clear that this is a task far too difficult for one person.